everybody, it's Nika again. I've been wanting to share with you my ATC for a swap over at myscraproom.ning.com for about a couple of weeks now. But last week was really crazy for me, and I was not able to film the video until now. So here is my ATC. The theme was Shabby Chic, and we had a few requirements that we needed to add to the card, and that was to use lace, to use ribbon, and then to use pearls. And this is what I came up with. And I also today wanted to do a little tutorial on how I did my ATC, just so that you can kind of see the different techniques that I used on the card. So here, first I started with just a regular piece of cardstock. It is 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches, and in order to get the background here, it's probably not showing on this, but here, what I did was that I used the crackle medium again to get this kind of crackled effect on the outer edges. It only shows on the outer edges, but I did a little prep work ahead of time because I didn't want to, I didn't want to wait for the paint to dry, and I didn't want to just take too long to do this. So I did some pieces of the ATC is already done like this, but I used paint. I used the folk art paint in, I don't know what color this is, in something rose. Oh, rose pink. This is rose pink, and then just a bright white. What I did first was that I used the rose pink and I just painted around the edges. I didn't bother doing the center of the card because I knew that was going to be covered up with patterned paper, and it gave me some place to hold while I was putting down all of my paints and my crackle medium. So first I did the pink paint, as you can see, and then after that dried completely, I used crackle medium. This is the folk art crackle medium. I got this at Hobby Lobby for I think it was on sale for $2. So you can get this at Hobby Lobby, at Michael's. I don't know if they have it at Joann's. They do have this at Walmart. And I think you can even use the Tim Holtz crackle paint, but I haven't used that yet. So so I added that. There's a layer all the way around. I had to wait for that to dry completely, and then after that I added the white paint on top of it, and when you put it on, you just brush it on in the same direction, and it gets these really big crackles, and you can really see the paint coming through underneath the white paint, and it just looks really nice. So after doing that, if you're doing it for a swap like I did, you can use a stamp to stamp your information on the back. I actually just printed this out on my printer because I don't like my ATC back stamp. It doesn't stamp properly, so I either need to get another stamp, or I think I just like printing it out on my printer. You can change the color, and it just works a lot. I mean, my handwriting's kind of big, and my blog and my YouTube are kind of long names. So anyway, so I just add that to the back. I just glued it to the back before I finished the rest of the card, and it got too dimensional for me to really glue the back on. Sorry if you can hear my baby in the background. He's in here with me. And then after that, I took some patterned paper. This is from the Die Cuts with a View luxury stack. It's like a pink and some reddish brown color. It's really shimmery. It's a very shimmery. I don't know if the camera is picking that up, but I really love this paper. I also use this for my altered canvas. It's really pretty. I have this, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to distress the edges. I just have a Making Memories edge distressor, so just gonna do that really fast. can use the Tim Holtz. I've been wanting to try that. I just haven't yet purchased one. Don't know why. Just, I guess, use this one till it doesn't work anymore and then I'll get it. But any distressor will work. I've had this one for a while actually. Okay. So I have the edges all nice and frayed. I'm just going to grab my Vintage Photo Distress ink and I'm going to just lightly, or not, distress the edges really fast. I'm going to do the same thing to the edges here. It's a little, there we go. Okay, put that aside. And now I'm going to, before I do anything else, I'm going to add my ribbon and lace. What I did was I had some white ribbon that's an 1/8 of an inch wide, and I threaded it through the lace. Oh wait, just threaded it through, sorry. Yeah, there. I actually used the Tim Holtz Victorian Velvet Distress ink to color the ribbon. I only had white ribbon, and the pink ribbon that I already have is a little lighter than this, and I wanted it to be darker to kind of match with the rest of the elements of my ATC. So I just colored, distressed it, and then let that dry, and then threaded it through. So I'm going to take my ATG, and I'm just going to do the sides here just to hold my ribbon. If I can get my ATG to work. There we go. Just do that. I think I'm also going to use some score tape behind this just to hold it down in place so it's not moving and doing all sorts of fun stuff that it's not supposed to be doing. I really love the score tape. It really holds onto fabric really nicely. So it's gonna be about, oh, you know what? I just realized that before I do that, I need to do some stamping. Wow, that's fun. Okay, so I am going to, on my ATC, I'm going to make the little butterfly trail. I'm just going to use a flourish stamp that's from paper tray ink. So I'm just going to ink that with my Versamark and put that away. And I know the butterfly is going to be on the side there, so I'm just going to place it there so I know where to put my flourish. Just eyeball it. That looks good to me. I'm going to be using American Crafts Zing in Brownie. It's a nice color. It looks really nice with the Vintage Photo. Okay, it's a lot of stray. I probably should have used something to, like a dryer sheet or something like that to get rid of all the static, but it's okay. Just going to use a paintbrush to quickly brush it all away. Doesn't need to be perfect. A lot of it's going to get covered up anyways, and it just adds to the shabby feel. Shabby, in my opinion, is not perfect. So, gonna use my heat gun. Sorry for the noise. Okay. Heat that up. My son likes the noise of the heat gun, so he's over here now. Yeah. I'm almost done with it. And there we go. Okay, so there we go. That is all nice and heated up. So now we can put the ribbon and lace down. It's just gonna go right there at the bottom. And then the adhesive on the back is just gonna hold that in place. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere this whole thing down to the card, or the base, I should say. It is a card, just not a card anyways. So adhere that down to the base. Okay. I pre-made, I had made some flowers with using one of the Tim Holtz, what is it? It's one of his stamps. But anyways, I used the same stamp for the flower and the butterfly. And I just colored that in a little bit with the Victorian Velvet and then distressed the edges in Vintage Photo. So I'm just going to add that. And I made a little ribbon leaf just out of some green with some gold highlight organza ribbon. So I'm going to use my hot glue gun. Just put a dab right there. And press that down. And add a little more to the flower, just to the back. And put that here, like that. And just to save time, I'm just going to use hot glue for the butterfly too. I usually use something like glossy accents, but this works too. There we go. Just make sure it lifts up a little bit for dimension. All right, there we go. And I also have a banner that is, it says flying by to say hi. It's also from Paper Tray Ink. I have a little strip already. It is, I think, 3 inches by 1/2 inch, and I'm going to use walnut stain ink to stamp it. So get that inked up, and then try and get it. I have 2 scored lines so that it'll be popped up and have some dimension. Let me try and get that straight. Sorry if my head is in the camera. There you go. And I'm also going to distress that just a little bit with the Vintage Photo. Or a lot. I guess my little bit is kind of a lot. Don't want to see what my a lot is. Okay, so I'm going to fold these back on the first one here. Then I'm just gonna quickly go through that and then fold it back on itself to get that banner shape. There you go. And then I'm just gonna cut. Does not need to be perfect. I'm not too worried about that. The V and the shape being all perfect. It's, like I said, it adds to the shabby chic feel. It's, you know, been through rough times. Gonna distress that just a little bit too. Okay, then I'm going to turn that over and then use some dimensionals just to pop it up just a bit from the card. Make sure it's not in the way of the, okay, 3 is good. I'm going to take these off. I'm also on the flat side of the edges, I'm just going to add a little bit of glossy accents. Just a bit, just so that it doesn't move on the card. So I'm gonna, oh, my butterfly didn't stick down. So I'm gonna have it here, slightly at an angle. There we go. Let's try that again with the butterfly. There. That should stick down pretty good. And the last thing that I did was I added some pearl trim. These are not flat back. It's from Michaels. It's their Celebrate It brand. Let me see. So it's gonna go across the top here. So I'm just gonna kind of measure it out, snip off a bit. And I'm also going to use my hot glue gun for this. Just a dab right there. This is my precision hot glue gun. I really love it. So great for doing small detail work. I'm just gonna go along and just put dabs and then kind of roll the pearls into place. Just doing every other. And then on the end I'm going to do both. And there we go. Alright. And that is how I did my ATC. It's kind of like the rest. Yeah, okay. I had to make sure that I put it on right. I should have done that to begin with, but I haven't done that yet, so. Yep, and that's my ATCs. I hope you enjoyed the little tutorial, and thanks for watching. Bye!